Talk Show. Recorded live.
All right, well, good evening, everybody, on this Prothink radio show, December 8th, 2010. I'm your host, Mike Delaney. Tonight we'll have a co-host slash guest. His name is Scott Roberts, and he's from the website theforbiddentruth.net. We're going to get into a wide array of topics tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining with us here. And we'll be going for the next hour this evening. Some of the topics we'll get into tonight are some of the local news, or I shouldn't say local news, recent news. We're going to get into a discussion with Scott here about white nationalism and what happened on 9/11 and why it's important, among a few other topics here we'll get into as well. Well, without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring Scott on with us tonight. Scott, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Thanks. I'm doing all right. And first thing I want to do is congratulate you on the new addition to your family.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're on number 3 now, so we're aiming for about 7 more, I guess. Here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doing your own deliveries too. That's pretty brave.
Yeah, it's the way to go. First 2 we did midwives with, and then that worked out pretty well. So, but yeah, it's I've done show before too where we talked about this. Everything that how the system is set up to basically for childbirth and just everything else with children is almost completely backwards on how it should have been or should be.
Right. So anything you can do for yourself, you should do it.
Exactly. But Scott, I don't know how much you've been keeping up on this whole WikiLeaks thing, but I smell something rotten here with this whole WikiLeaks thing going on right now. I don't know if what's your thoughts on this supposedly this big scandal's going on where the WikiLeaks guy or the person that runs the website is supposedly putting out documents of the government that are damaging to national security and such. And I'm looking at the stuff they're putting out, and it's just ridiculous. It has nothing damaging that, for instance, me and you haven't said or said far worse that it should be damaging. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know the specifics of it myself, but general comments would be anything that makes the headlines on the MSM is obviously, the first thing you got to think of is controlled dissent, obviously. If they're not talking about Jews and the Jewish connections behind everything, then that's a red flag. And, this damaging information, who's it damaging to? They're talking about them and they and the government, but they're not letting they're not connecting the dots. They're not letting people know exactly who these people are. So for those obvious reasons, without even knowing the details of it, yes, red flags are abound.
Absolutely. I'm trying to find an article here. I had it pulled up here, but we're absolutely right. They're giving it way too much attention, and how the way it's going down is here. Let me see if I can pull this up here. WikiLeaks. You know what? I'm not even going to be able to find that right now.
I think it's on par with the Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory show where people actually think they're getting some insider information. They give a little bit of truth. Of course, that's what controlled dissent always does. They have to gain credibility somehow, so they'll give a little bit of truth. And then, of course, they either pull a 180 and mislead you completely in the wrong direction, or they simply fail to connect those dots to the people who we know to be behind it all. So I'd put it on that level.
Yeah, and man, I really wish I could find that article. Unfortunately, I had to restart the computer to get logged in here tonight. But one of the articles I was reading, it was either New York Times or Washington Post, and one of the Jewish journalist, if you want to call it journalist here, was saying that they're mad that they're shutting down financial matters to WikiLeaks, and Visa and MasterCard and PayPal are stopping. This looks like a completely false flag staged event just for them to make excuses to try to shut down on the internet or start heavily censoring it and using excuses because, oh, this is vital to our national security. I mean, if this was a real issue, they would go after the people leaking the documents out. I mean, second of all, most of supposed national security is spilt out into all the other nations. It has nothing to do with WikiLeaks anyways. But it was funny because this guy on there was saying specifically, well, I find it absurd that I can pay money to the Ku Klux Klan, anti-abortion activists, and bigoted anti-homosexual groups out there, but not to WikiLeaks. And I said, okay, here we go. Here's where the hit comes in. They're going to say, well, you know what? You're right. We should limit payments or be able to censor those types of websites along with WikiLeaks, as if they're setting the stage to do just that.
Of course, and they have an obvious need to do so. They can't allow websites like ours and many others to go on without impeding our progress. They have to do something. They have to come up with some excuse, and this is just as good of an excuse as I could ever imagine them coming up with.
And they certainly are giving it. I mean, just right now, if you go to Google News, that another top article is going on for a couple weeks now that they've been. It's like Britney Spears cutting her hair bald or something. It's astonishing amount of press they're giving this. But over 10,000 news articles under this particular topic on Google News right now. And for what? What have they leaked out? Have they leaked out the O2Go instant messaging from 9/11? Have they leaked out the plethora of stuff we could be talking about here? No, of course not. They haven't leaked out anything of pertinence that is damaging the so-called United States government's national security. So, I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what's been a really great marketing scheme I've been pulling, because that was one of the topics I want to get into tonight, too, is getting people out there that, well, unlike me and you who already have websites up, there's a lot of other people that don't have websites up or choose not to put their name out there, whatever have you. Here's what you can do to help out this, because if this is what is coming down the pipeline, like I said, with they're using this WikiLeaks excuse to start limiting what we're able to say on the internet, or they start censoring. I can tell you right now that they already got the search engines re-engineered not too long ago to stop comments. I've noticed on Scott could tell you all about the YouTube games, the YouTube plays, but just recently I was on there trying to make comments, and it would say okay as soon as I clicked the comment. I'd refresh the page, or I'd go back there, a minute later, and it wouldn't even be there, and these are the games they've been playing, but they obviously want to make it official that they can control the internet. So here's a couple of things you can do right now until possibly they do something to the internet, is you can go onto Craigslist. I've said this before plenty of times. Go to Craigslist and under some of these major cities or even the smaller towns, but you get a lot more people, viewing this stuff from the major cities. There's a section under the personals section called Rants and Raves, and it's pretty much a be-all, say-all kind of board. And I've been putting this in, and I'll tell you what, it's pulling in anywhere from 50 to 100 hits an ad, which literally takes me, a minute to 2 minutes. Now, if you can get out there and flyer 100 houses in 2 minutes, then more power to you. But if you're like a lot of people out here who don't want to get out from behind keyboards and still want to be able to do something, this is what you can do. Post in the subject title, WikiLeaks won't expose this, or WikiLeaks exposes 9/11, or WikiLeaks just exposed an astonishing thing, and just catch people, because this is the topic in all the sheep out there right now. They're watching these mainstream news channels. This is WikiLeaks. And so if you make it sound like it's really important and put it out there, and then in the and then when they click that subject line and look at the message in there, you could have something in there like, this is an amazing article. Go to the forbiddentruth.net or prothink.org or 911missinglinks.com, and you can point them people to that.